All right, welcome back again. Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self Care Challenge Day 7. We are back on track a little later in the day, but it's all good. Excuse me. So I'm glad you can be here. If you haven't grabbed your journal yet, grab your journal, journal with me as we talk about receiving and unconditional love and the crown chakra. And just to switch those words up a little bit, I apologize for my voice and getting sleepy. Receiving unconditional love from God's source creator. So as I was journaling on this one, and some of the common things came to mind as I was doing my journaling. So, my purple for today. Anyway, so if we're not receiving, we're blocking it oftentimes, right? Like there's this resistance to it. And where does that come from? We can deep dive into that, can't we? So if we're not able to receive, and there was a time when I wouldn't receive just a compliment, right? Like it was I had to make up some, or I had to think of some kind of thing that minimized whatever I was being complimented on. Like, oh, you did a nice job on, well, I could have done it better. Or it only turned out good because, right? Like I could just say thank you. So that's one example. Do you catch yourself not being able to just say thank you and appreciate and receive a compliment fully, regardless of what it is, whether it's, you look nice today, or you did a good job on something, or they really like something that you did, or whatever it may be. And if you find that you do struggle with that, then I challenge you to just say thank you, right? Don't allow the human egoness the opportunity to take over and dismiss or minimize or dilute the energy. Just receive it with gratitude. And it might feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. No blame, shame, and guilt, right? But practicing. Excuse me. Take another drink of tea. I was fine 5 minutes ago. Excuse me. Another thing, receiving help when we need it, right? Help or support. So it could be something like moving a piece of furniture and having to ask for help, or use someone who will find ways to balance it here or move it there, or slides up underneath of the leg so that you can slide it across the floor. I'm laughing because I've done it. Can you ask for help when you need it? It might be, a financial loan, or it might be help with making a meal, or maybe you don't have enough, flour for a recipe, whatever it may be. What's it like for you to ask for help? Are you able to ask without any problem, or do you notice that you feel icky about it? Do you find yourself resisting the opportunity to ask? And I say it's an opportunity because sometimes we forget. I can remember a time when reflecting back, I didn't even think of like the mirror, right? I didn't even think of how the other person felt when I didn't receive or when I didn't ask, right? I always showed up or wanted to show up with my hand up. If you need help, let me know. I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you. But when it came time to take other people up on their offer, like I didn't want to be a burden, right? Didn't want to put them out, or didn't want to owe more, right? Especially in those times of feeling depleted and drained already. It's like, oh, I don't have anything else to give right now back right away. So I'm not going to ask because I don't feel like I can return a favor right now. So I wouldn't ask. Sometimes those are things that block us, right? Assuming that we have to give right back. Um, Not saying that we don't continue the energy of inflow and outflow, right? Keep the energy moving back and forth, and it's a shared experience. It's not all give and it's not all take, but again, shared experience, which means there's some not taking in a bad way, but receiving, right? There is allowing ourselves to receive as part of an energy flow. It's part of an energy exchange, however that looks, whether again, it's, compliments, kind words, being polite, a smile. Sometimes it's just giving and receiving a smile in public, or receiving the smile from someone in public, right? Needs to be very defensive, on guard, not quite paranoid, but maybe, maybe a little bit. Sorry if I bumped the camera there. Um, but assuming, if someone smiled, that like, what are you up to? Why are you smiling? Right? What you got up your sleeve? Having expectations or just preconceived notions of what people might want, right? Instead of maybe people just want to offer help. Maybe other people like to help too. And as much as we like to give, finding and being okay with the receiving. So, what else just came up was I can remember seeing people comment and then remember being in the situation myself. And not that it was that far ago, but being in the situation of you get so used to that cycle of trying to be the helper that when you do practice asking for help and you get the resistance from others, then it's challenging to clear that energy, right? Because you're like, I'm finally asking for help and I'm getting this resistance, or they're just not doing it, or right? So there's an expectation there. I'm finally asking, so I'm willing to receive, and then, okay, but I'm not receiving. What's going on there, right? But there's a phrase we teach people how to treat us, and that. So it takes time to break cycles, both for ourselves and for others, right? Not that we should ever expect that everybody is just waiting for us to say, hey, I need some help, and they should just jump and do it. There has to be a level of understanding in that too, right? Like people have lives they're living and things going on, and people can't always help. So again, it gets tricky when we're trying to allow ourselves to receive when we're not used to receiving. And then when we finally, move out of the comfort zone a little bit and ask, and then we don't get it, it's even more comfortable. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have asked, the brain, the ego, the humanness can play some tricks on us there. So then to further along in the journey, in the journaling process, to be aware, assess, and align, right? To be in alignment with the source of unconditional love. That that really came in more like literally receiving unconditional love from God, source, creator. So we have our human experiences, our human relationships. I know they're spiritual as well, but I'm just saying there's that human aspect too, right? Because as humans, we're not always allowing ourselves to follow or be guided by spirit. We follow our ego sometimes, right? Our humanness. But then there's that connection and that relationship with God, with source, with creator, pure spirit, whichever name you give. Do you allow yourself to receive that love from pure spirit? Right? And I ask not to be funny because there was a point in time in my life where I didn't. There was that feeling of unworthiness, and it can get really deep and dark and ugly, right? Dark night of the soul, spiritual awakenings, mirrored effects, really looking at yourself, really seeing where you're like, oh, I did some pretty icky things, right? Or I really hurt some people's feelings, or I made some terrible mistakes, or, and then there is whole lot of blame, shame, and guilt going on. You beat yourself down, and then you think, like, how can I be open and receive, like, right? Again, I don't want to take this particular video that dark, but it can become a very dark place. So that came up just for our awareness to make sure that you're checking in to see that you are allowing yourself to receive unconditional love from God, source, again, pure spirit, whatever name that you give and relationship that you have, that we don't cut, oh, I got chills, we don't cut that off, right? We allow ourselves and stay open to receive that. And when we do receive that, have that gratitude for it as well, right? It's part of the pray, P-R-A, pray, protecting your energy, releasing what isn't yours, and appreciating the now, right? So take a moment in the now to really appreciate that unconditional love that we receive. Let me rephrase, the unconditional love that we're given if we choose to receive it. Because that is 2 points, 2 parts to that, right? Anything can be offered to us, but are we willing to receive it? Again, a compliment from someone else. Are you willing to receive it? Someone offers their help or assistance. Are you willing to receive it? Someone offers whatever it may be, just a smile, a hug, their polite kindness. Are you willing to receive it? And if not, what is one step you can take to get in alignment with the source of unconditional love so that you are opening up and allowing yourself to begin to receive, right? We don't have to do everything all at once. There's no blame, shame, and guilt. It's just awareness. Awareness of where we're at, assessing where we're at, and determining if this is where I want to stay or do I want to get closer into alignment with the source of unconditional love. If you find the things that are blocking you, let's clear it out, right? Clear it out. It's time. So that's a deep dive in the journaling, even though this is another short video. Thank you for all who hopped on. Again, check the description. I don't think I mentioned this in the last video. I'm still sharing the link for my first live masterclass on November 10th. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, go ahead and click the link and sign up. And we are going to talk more about protecting our energy, clearing away what isn't ours, right? Being able to manage our own energy better so we don't feel so bombarded and overloaded and drained and overwhelmed and all the things. So again, click that link, comment below, let me know if you are journaling, if you feel like you are fully in alignment with the source of unconditional love, what helps you be in alignment. And if you're not, that's okay. What's something that you can do or that you like to do that helps you get a little closer to being in alignment with that energy? Thank you for all who popped on the live. Thank you for all who popped on the replay. Take good care of you, and I will see you tomorrow for the root chakra when we talk more about self-awareness and include some of our belief systems that are rooted in our root chakra, right? Take good care of you. So much love. Bye, guys.